Welcome to the channel, Dripping in Alchemy. My name is Starr, for those that might not know me. I'm going to enter into the space today with a frankincense and myrrh, just to cleanse, just to ground, and this is not my first channel, but this feels very brand new to me. I feel excited. I feel like this is a brand new chapter for me, and I really feel like this energy is going to be something that is pulled through this reading for you all today as well. I brought some really beautiful crystals into the mix today. I've got two labradorite. I want to say it's like almost like a full circle geode that's been split through the center. I brought some amethyst, which is a stone that I've had for a real long time. One of my very first crystals I think I ever bought. I've got some rhodonite, and we've obviously got selenite at the front here. There are some roses peeping in through the corner, and I've also got some ruby over on this side as well. 1-1 on the clock there. I'm going to get into some significant and signifying cards. I'm going to be reading straight Oracle today, and this is very much a flash for the past for me. I have another channel which is called Elemental Origins, and that's where I started. I started pulling Oracle, and my life took a very different turn. So I've been on this pathway for a good few years now, and yeah, I really feel at my peak. And still exploring and learning every day, but I feel like I've reached a new level of understanding within my alchemy, within my spirituality, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to share it with you all today. So the first card that we've got is Crystal Quartz and Focus. Lotus and Resurrection with 22, and I knew that this kind of like maiden energy was going to step forward somewhere. Wow, yeah. Honeybeing community was 17. So the number 17 and 22 hold great significance to me, and the number 8. So I'm not surprised that all of these cards are coming out today. And the Rainbow with Beauty and 30. I'm hearing a brand new start for so many. And this is about truly allowing for your true self to step forward. And I really felt like this reading today might not feel so good for some. And now I'm understanding why, because it's not going to feel great for those that aren't ready to step into their true authenticity. It's going to feel like I'm calling you out, that spirit is calling you out, and that is not what they are wanting for you to feel, but they also know that this is the message that you need to hear today. And this is about you truly trusting who you are and what you came here to be. And it's interesting that I said bee, but also I was hearing buzzing of bees in my ear. And, you know, I really want to encourage anyone that feels like they tried something and they quote unquote failed, because now is the time to start again. And I can very much see this as my own personal journey. You know, I had a few things that started that really felt great to me, that really didn't take off in the ways that I was perhaps perceiving or wanting it to. And I've just had to trust that everything is always happening in divine right timing. And even if I want to force something, push something, you know, there is a hand that is much more divine than mine, and much more in alignment, and much more understanding of all realm space and time, that truly puts things forward when it's supposed to be. So this is definitely a reading about faith. And it's interesting because one of the candles that I've got lit has already gone out. So, you know, to anyone whose candle has gone out, whose flame has gone out, this is your reminder to start again. You know, buy a new candle, buy some incense for yourself, and believe me, I hear you. I was not ready to partake in this channel for a good few months. There was a lot of healing that I needed to do. This is not my first time. This is not my first try at this. So, you know, I definitely felt disheartened somewhere. I definitely felt like I was forgotten or missed on the train. And as soon as I started to set out for today, I felt this rush of energy come back to me. And it was emotional, actually. I burst into tears and I thought, oh, okay, like this is it. Yes, I'm starting again, but it feels so familiar. It feels so safe. And this was always who I was supposed to be. If there was ever a doubt in my mind, you know, that's gone. And it's making me emotional now, because I think this is how a few of you might feel right now. You feel like you should just give up, but I'm telling you, try it again, please. This is me begging you to try it again. Yeah, six and bliss and cherish the day. And I knew that if things had worked out in the past, I would be living a very different life. I made a commitment to myself at the end of 2025 that I was going to be moving into my soft-girl era. I was like, there's no more fight, there's no more struggle from me. And things have so miraculously shifted in my life that now I understand why everything had to be the way that it is now. Not everything, because things are still being worked out, but for the most part, I get it. If I was to have gotten things the way that I was working in the past, it wouldn't have been sustainable for me. And that's not how the divine wanted me to live. They didn't want me to live in struggle. They didn't want me to live pushing and striving. They wanted me to have, a quote unquote easier life. And there's always going to be struggle. There's always going to be strife. But they didn't want me to be suffering anymore. And I'm hearing that for you too, collective. No more suffering. 13 and challenge, standing up for your rights. And some of you, and this is me too, I got bitten for my beliefs. I was in a space of not everyone could see what I could see, and I still had to stand up for what I believed in terms of spirit, in terms of my belief system, to some degree, because I'm a being that likes to live out scenarios, even if, my understanding is of a different frame of passion or commitment. It's like my soul came here to experience it all. So I was very open to new experiences, and that took me on a whole journey of so many things. And if you're interested, I will have another channel for you to delve into, so please do message me. You can receive that from me, because it's quite expansive, and I'm trying to keep things quite compartmentalized with regards to my work, because I know that not everyone is going to be ready for that. But you can email me at theawakeningstar@gmail.com if you want to delve a little bit deeper into some aspects that are a little bit more on the fringes, is what I want to say, with regards to shadow, with regards to alchemy, with regards to, I want to say, UFO contact. So that's there, and that's open also. But I think that this is about you really understanding who you are now, and everything that you had to go through in order to be who you are today. And you've got number 2 in dominance coming in now, believing in yourself. And I think this is what this reading is about. Are you going to believe in yourself again? Are you really going to truly go after what you want from your heart-centered space, or will you continue to be in the cycle of challenge? And at a certain point in my journey, it just became a non-brainer, and it was terrifying. It was terrifying to say, I don't know what's to come, but this truly isn't it. This isn't it. This doesn't cut it. I'm not happy. Like, things have to change. And it's not the first time that I've done this, but the time that I've done this recently, it felt so pivotal, because it wasn't like a letting go. Like, I've had a lot of grief, and I had a lot of grief in my life. I've had a lot of letting go, but this felt like a absolute just pivot. So it was like I'd gotten used to the running up the hill, the climbing up the mountain, but now I was standing exactly as I am, and just saying, I'm just going to step towards more of the light. And I would say that I entered into this world as a very bright being, but shadow of this world consumed me, and that was where I was supposed to be. And I had to learn that realm. I had to understand that shadow within myself, within others, in order to be in an even lighter and higher vibration. And I have so much respect for the shadow spaces. I truly do. So apologies to whomever that might trigger. It triggered me too. But I now understand that the shadow is a state. It is a phase. And you get to decide how long you want to stay there. And also, it is always going to be a part of you, a part of your life, a part of your expression. But it's not a place where we live in this realm of earth, it's not a place that should exist constantly. And it took me some time to truly believe that in my heart. So my heart goes out to anyone that is still, I want to say, grieving or in their shadow spaces, because you are there for a reason, but also know that you will make your way out when it's time, when you're aligned, and when the world is ready for you, because I definitely felt like I've been waiting for the world to be ready for me. And there's been a lot of things that have happened in 2026 to bring us into alignment, which I'm very grateful for. A lot politically too, that I think had to be brought to light, to crumble, in order for me to be able to be here. So there is a lot happening all at once, and I'm trusting that the way that this reading is being portrayed is going to help those understand just how multifaceted and layered that they are, because I feel like your life is very much mirroring mine. I really want this community to be souls that see me and understand me, and that I can give, you know, messages to help you and vice versa, because we've lived similar constructions. Like, you know, we are a community of souls here, and I believe that we come with core clusters of souls that are similar to us, and we are put together with one another to help each other through our challenges, through the things that we are facing, and just have camaraderie and fun too. I've really just been allowing for joy and love and laughter to be back into my life, and it's just been really beautiful to let myself, you know, I wanted to say de-pet or unfurl, but that sounds really overtly sexual, which is not what I was intending, but that's there. I'm very much feeling flower power too in this reading. And I'm going to delve into some Rose Oracle now. I got quite a few actually. The Wastelands, Sustainability, Slow Down, Tend to Your Garden. I think that like this is genuinely where I was. I've gone from being in the stark desert lands to now sipping this clean divine water. And you know, at some points in this journey I've been completely brought to my knees, completely and utterly. And I feel like some of you are on the precipice of this. I feel like some of you have already burst into tears just with the few words that I've said, because it resonates with you so deeply. So let the tears come, let your emotions come, and let yourself be held is what I want to say. Healing the motherline, healing ancestral work, motherline, growing up. I'm trying to get this to focus. Healing ancestral work, motherline, and growing up. And I used to get really triggered by the idea of not being grown up or being mature, and as I've delved deeper into my spirituality, you know, I've realized that you're kind of in a sweet spot to be in a naive space, to be in the maiden energy, to not have all the answers, because I think the minute that you think that you have all the answers is definitely where a new cycle comes in, and it's almost like the downfall. And I don't mean that so negatively, but that's how it's been perceived to me. You reach that pinnacle point and then you're set back down to be the student again. So I've tried to reframe that in my mind, to always want to be the student, and to see myself as always a little bit naive, because I think the minute that you think you know everything, that's when things start to be out of balance. That's just with my own personal expression anyway. The sacred union, beloved within inner and outer relationships. And I feel like this is truly where you are right now. You are ready, or perhaps have been crying out for, or not knowing that this is what your soul is actually crying out for now. Is deeper relationships, deeper connections, and a space to feel truly held and seen. And I think that a lot of you have been running away from love. And it's interesting because I don't inherently do love readings, but if the love frequency steps in with regards to romantic relationships, I will share it. And I've actually brought in a love oracle deck that I do have, which I can't remember what it's called actually. But we are going to delve into love today, everyone, just to warn you. And then we've got the Rose of Venus stepping out, as I say, the alignment, right flow, right relationships, and harmony. And 13:03 on the clock there. And some of you have just called in your divine counterpart. And, you know, I think that we are given options, but for the most part, most of you here, you've been on a long pathway of healing yourself, of loving yourself, and now you're ready to share that love with another. So if you feel afraid of that right now, I want to say that that's good, because you're wanting to be the best that you can be for someone else. And I think the minute that we say that, that's when everything changes in all of our relationships. How can I be of help and of service to my family, to my friends, to those around me, my community, and wider aspects? How can I be of service, and how can I help? And I think that's the minute that we step out of ourselves, and not necessarily ego, but we step out of the space of I'm willing to be a part of the all. And I think that's a real beautiful expression to be in, and this is where you are at. And you know, if you're anything like me, sometimes to be in partnership with anyone or anything after a long struggle and what feels like a long battle, it can feel terrifying to be open again to new connections, even in friendship. So take it slow and take it step by step, but know that you are ready. You are ready to be cultivating more of the life that I'm hearing you've always desired. And there was a real strong essence of the inner child stepping forward now. and they are ready. You've supported them enough to be ready for new connections, new community. Be a part of the hive, I'm hearing, but in the most positive way. We are counterbalancing those, I want to say, audacious actions out there of others that do not have the highest good in heart for humanity. You are a light worker through and through. Whoever is listening to this, you've done it in your own way. And perhaps, you consider yourself to be a little rough around the edges, or you've been labeled like the bad boy, or the promiscuous girl, like these things I'm hearing. And you were supposed to be exactly who you were supposed to be, because you were breaking down the molds. And I want to hear the restrictions. And I was hearing, I'm hearing the fascists too, so I'm going to say it, because you are ready to pave this new earth into existence. And I always just call this the rainbow frequency. So it's interesting that that's stepping forward today. The anointed, answer the call, leadership, empowerment, and soul's gifts. And this is what you are ready to do. You are ready to share your soul's gifts. And I'm going to push all of these just up a little bit more so we can see the rainbow there, because I think that's important. You are ready to share who you are. And for some of you, perhaps you've been terrified to share your true story, for whatever reason, and I think that the minute you let go of shame, that's when life starts to become easier. And it's not easy to let go of shame, but it's easy to commit to that being something that you're willing to let go of, or at least make that voice be a little bit quieter. Because I'm hearing that so many of you here actually have so much to share with so many, and now is the time to be sharing your voice in whatever way that feels comfortable to you. I've gone right back to the beginning. I've gone back to where I started. This is how I started, and I think this is helping me gain back the strength to share my most authentic voice at this capacity. How I start might not be how I end, but this is me starting again. And this is my encouragement to you to start again also, because you're ready, I'm hearing. You're truly ready, and it's time. And now I'm going to have to do something that doesn't feel comfortable to me, because I'm going to pull some cards from a deck of cards, which is actually the Andy Warhol deck. And I got this, well, actually my uncle got me these from the exhibition. And I know that tarot relates to playing cards, but I haven't gotten that far in my research to know it off of the top of my head. So I'm going to pull 3 cards, and then I'm going to leave the understandings in the community tab for you to go back and understand these 3 cards. So I'm going to read the energy of these cards, but then you can go and read the full description of what these cards will mean. Yeah, and I've pulled 4, which is interesting. Am I going to take... Okay, I'm going to put 3 down, and then we'll take the last one. So, okay, we've got the Joker. Sorry, the Jack. We've got the Jack. The 4 of Diamonds. I feel so nervous to do this. This is so interesting. We've got the 6 of Shamrocks. I can't even remember what the playing cards are actually called. That's so hilarious. So I'm going to call it just the 6 of Shamrocks. And then we've also got the 6 of Diamonds. So what I'm getting is, it's like, be flamboyant with this hat sticking out here. And it's interesting because I listened to another reader the other day, and they was like, you like to wear fancy hats or like interesting hats, and I was like, no, I don't. But then when I looked back at my life, I realized that I've always had an interesting hat from time to time, and I've got a really beautiful pink flower hat that I like to wear when I'm trying to tap into Fae energy. So there's that correspondence for someone out there. And the 4 of Diamonds, this is about, to me at least, sticking into, well, okay, I'm seeing someone like dig their feet into sticky mud. It's like you've planted yourself somewhere, and now all you need to do is just water yourself, water your life, because things are going to bloom. It's going to take, I'm hearing it's not even going to take as much time as you think. So trust in the process, and trust that you are stable enough to get you to wherever you want to be. I really have such a strong feeling that this collective isn't seeing themselves clearly. You might want to start doing some mirror work, because it's like you're not seeing your true reflection. And I think perhaps it's because you have others around you right now that can't show up in the same way that you do, and that's not to say that everyone is the same, but they don't hold the same light as you. You don't have your soul tribe around you, so you can't see yourself clearly. So this might be a call to, set the intention to meet your soul tribe. Obviously, I hope that this is a tribe for you and you continue to be on this channel. However, I know that everything works in divine time, but you might need souls around you in your immediate reality to to be able to see who you are. So call them in, and perhaps this will make a shift. You know, there's been a massive shift that's happened with my friends and my family as well, that they are much more open to the way that I view the world and my interest, as much as me having more compassion for them and where they are in their journey too, and holding space for that in a neutral space. And I'm being called to kind of share, you know, that feeling that we all get when we find out something new about spirituality or the divine, or something happens to us and we want everyone to know about it because we can see where they perhaps are quote unquote making the same mistakes, and how sharing that authentic voice can get you into sticky situations. And that is definitely the path that I've been walking away from, because all you have to do is work with yourself. And of course, it comes from a space of wanting to help, but sometimes the best thing that you can do is to leave a soul to figure it out for themselves. And as painful as that is, you know, whether you are a parent or this is a close friend or family member that you really care about, sometimes you have to let them just go through it to come through the lessons of themselves. So, you know, be a helping hand or ear when they ask for it. Don't insert, you know, your understanding if it's not called for. And, you know, sometimes I've been called to share things that I didn't even want to by the divine. So, you know, there is a spectrum of that, but always just check in and say, okay, do I really need to say this, or can I just let this person live what they need to live right now? And with the Six of Diamonds, I'm being called to share, you know, this is a space for collaboration. I'm hearing this as equal reciprocity. I'm seeing this as the card that brings to you exactly what you give out, and you are owed so much divine karma. In the positive sense, it's unreal. And I kept wanting to say pile 2, so maybe you're someone that always pick a card, you pick a pile 2 a lot, and a pile 4. Yeah, it's like you are special. You're very, very special. So trust in that notion too. Okay, strange journeys. Take control of your quest. Choose your companions wisely. And this is exactly what I'm speaking about. Call your soul tribe in. Call in those rainbow people that can meet you exactly where you are. The old one, the ancients call, seek their wisdom. And you are an ancient one. And I think this is why you struggle to find others that can match your energy, because you are so very divine. And you definitely hold a lot of ancient wisdom that I think others just weren't ready for. But create your own tribe. This is me starting again. This is me starting a platform again, wanting to reach souls that I know I'm supposed to be in connection with. And I'm very grateful that my life's changed a lot over the past few years, past 5 years. And I have a lot of souls around me that do see me and do understand and appreciate me, but that wasn't always the case. So remember that things can change, no matter how dark it might seem right now. You can call in the light. The Thimble Witch, there is magic in beginning, so start something new. Yes, start again. And I'm being drawn to the why can't I think what this is called, like the doll lady here and the rabbit. And I've put a post out on Instagram today that has got a white rabbit on there, so that's a signifier as well. Fringe Dweller, see with eyes and heart wide open. And your heart has always been so wide open. And I'm reading this as 666, you know, which I feel like you had a lot of trickster energy in your field of existence that was trying to consistently pull you from your heart space. And for so many of you in this collective, you know, it might have been a time, but you've just consistently said, no, I'm not going to turn bitter or heartless. I'm going to continue to be my most authentic self. And this is what has saved you from, I want to say, completely drowning and losing your soul again, because I'm hearing for so many of you, you fought so hard to bring your soul back from the gates and the grips of hell. And now you're here again, standing 2 feet on this earth and saying, you know, I am grateful. And if you don't have a gratitude practice already, this is highly something that I would recommend. At least 3 things a day to say that I am grateful, or 3 affirmations to hype you up. Like, this very much feels like a hype your soul up reading, because I'm reading into the soul of you, and I just see Venus peeping out here. Like, your heart is so big. Your heart is a weapon, which is so interesting to say. And I think that goes a lot deeper than that perhaps we'll delve into in a later reading. Your heart is a weapon. I'm going to make a note of that because that feels significant. But you are ready. You're ready to share the love that you've cultivated to self. Wow. I've never pulled this card in my life. Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path, which is so interesting. You need to make sure you find yourself around those that can understand your love language. And I was told to read a book recently that is called Attachment, and it is on another platform where you listen to music. If you want to find it there, and I can't remember who has written it, but it's called Attachment or Attached. And I thought the way that I've viewed love in the past was coming from such a small scope of understanding that I knew that if I stepped forward again to receive love, that I was going to be receiving it in a very different way, because I understand love so differently now. And I honestly was told, or I had to set the intention of what I wanted in love before sitting down to do this reading for you all today, which I find super interesting. But I knew in my heart of hearts what my answer was, and I shared it from, that space of least resistance and also least fear. And it surprised me, the answer that I gave to myself, my soul, my teams, my angels, the Most High. It surprised me, the answer that I shared with them. So I think this might be a pause. You might want to pause the reading here. You might want to take some time to sit and look at what love means to you. And it's really interesting because I just looked over and there's a bit of like fluff that's like bouncing around. So the I don't even know what to call it. I've just had a whole glitchy moment. Apologies, everyone. What's it called? The vent of my window must be open because this thing was dancing around, which makes no sense because my windows aren't open, but it stopped me in my tracks. So maybe you're going to get a sign that stops you in your tracks. Maybe you'll see a white feather or something white of some description. Like I mentioned the white rabbit. I had a dream recently and I knew I was going to mention a dream of something, and there was white animals in a little box that I found, and I knew I was going to bring them to the collective energy in some way, and I've continued to do that through the tarot, the major arcana on my Instagram, theawakeningstar. So there is something perhaps already hidden in a dream that you've just had that's allowing for you to make understanding of who you are at a soul-centered space, and where and how you want to share your love is what I want to say. And in understanding this, you are going to be calling in your soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. So whoever you perhaps have been thinking of in this time, please use your discernment. And I think this is why I never wanted to do love readings, because the energy is so I wanted to say futile, but that's not the word. The energy is so finite in an expression of the energies of others can change at a drop of a hat. So it always made me feel quite nervous and dubious to do love and soul connection readings, because I knew that, in one day someone can feel like this and another day they can feel like another thing. And I think it just breeds for tricky territory. However, I know there are a lot of incredible and talented love readers out there. It just wasn't something that I felt solid enough in my own personal experiences of my expression of love to be able to share that from a balanced space. So please use your discernment. And then interestingly enough, we've got passion here. Allow your heart and your soul to sing with joy. And soulmates can come in the form of friendship. And it's interesting because I really wanted to give a shout out to all the amazing divine souls that I've met upon my awakening journey, because they've really healed my heart. They came in times when I just didn't know I needed them, and they've wined and dined me, shared with me their most intimate expressions, and they've loved me like I've never been loved before. And yet it wasn't in a physical sense. They've loved me in all ways but that. And that is exactly what I needed. And looking back now, I can see where my community was always coming to me, and I'm grateful for that. So maybe take some time to be grateful for the souls that you have met on your pathway already. And just remember that the best is yet to come. And don't give up now. If you're feeling disheartened, go back, take some time. I've taken a few months off from the things that I was doing before, just to, I really went into the shadow spaces again to heal myself at a deeper capacity. It's like I was going through the cycles again, but just at a much more rapid rate, to be able to be coming back into my balance now. So take some time, perhaps pause here, work out what your upbringing has been and how that's been shaping your expression of love and your spiritual path and what your spiritual understandings are now. And I'm being drawn to the Empress card as well. 2911 on the clock there. Who are you now? Who are you? And what do you consider your love languages to be now? And that book is called Attached. And that's about different attachment styles, and being cool to share that, even though I haven't read it for myself yet, but I know that it's going to be a great book from the recommendation. So I'm being drawn to pull from my charms box too, so just be careful, those that might be wearing headphones. Okay, it's taken me a little while to find something, so maybe it's taken some time to bring you into alignment. And I was drawn to the little emo sticker that I've got there. So I've got half of this butterfly here, and I can't even remember where I found this, but I'm hearing it's almost like you are not done growing yet, so just remember that. Take it easy, and with the emo sticker sticking out, let your emotions come. I think there might be a lot of emotions that are released through this reading. These are activations as well as a space for us to share an energy. And I'm a soul that whenever anyone meets my energy, things shift and change for them. It's like they have to face the deepest parts of themselves, which is why a lot of people don't find it comfortable to be in my energy, which is also something that I've had to be okay with, and trust in that energy. So whenever you step forward with these readings, this is a healing too. Just through my voice, the words that I'm sharing, I'm a vessel for the divine, so their divine frequency moves through me and directly into you. And I wanted to share and show this like, words are absolutely evading me today. Ribbon. It's not a ribbon, but you know what I mean. This thing that we stick on presents, whatever it's called, that I can't remember. I wanted to share this because it's like you are going to be 311 on the clock there. You are going to be gifted something soon that you just didn't see coming. And I love the iridescentness of this. I feel like I live in the iridescent, if that makes any sense. Like bubbles, anything. And for those that might need to hear it, you know, protect your energy, pop yourself in a bubble every day if you're feeling like you're still in this warring phase of those that don't understand you, or, you know, people that are fighting for you to not be in peace, whatever that looks like to you, friends, family, outside circumstances, wider understandings. This is your reminder that you are the gift too, so treat yourself as such. Be the biggest priority in your life, and the rest will fall into place. And I know that that's difficult when some of us have families, etc. But make sure that you are in alignment, because you can't fill anyone else's cup from your empty cup. It always has to be from the overflow. But you are the gift. But some of you, this soulmate is coming in sooner rather than later, and this may just be a friend. 3211 on the clock there. So remember that divine souls come in all forms, even plants and animals, you know. Yeah, there's a deeper message here that I think will come forward. I hope 32, 23 on the clock there. 27 I'm being drawn to. And remember the number 8. I think we started with 22, 30, 8, and 17. And we've got 4 and 6 and J sticking out there. But I'm feeling that's all for today, everyone. Thank you for joining me on Dripping in Alchemy. This is the first of many, and I look forward to sharing with you more. I'm being drawn to the little owl here too. Crystals. I'm hearing the dancing of snowflakes. I'm seeing autumn leaves. I'm being drawn to, oh gosh, Autumn Girl, I think the song is called. I'm gonna put that in the description below, because that might be significant for someone to listen to. Autumn's burning. Yeah, something about autumn. You know, perhaps that's going to be the season that you're coming into next. That's going to be your harvest. You are the harvest. You are the gem. You are the one, is what I'm hearing. Take care for now.